All right, welcome to the podcast, Pollute Your Soul. We're here with SB Mob. Thank you all for coming on to the show. You guys did a music video for Soldiers in Camo. Where would you say that was shot at, and what were you trying to go for in that song?
It's really like a war theme song. Like the video, we went to what's that? Fort McComb. It's this old like war zone in New Orleans or whatever in Venetian Isles, and we went there and shit. The whole theme was like everybody was dressed in camouflage suits and shit. We had the prop guns and shit. It was lit.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen this TV show True Detective, but it's like it looks like the end part of the show when they like kill the cult member. Have you ever seen that show? It's all set in New
Yo, I
Orleans.
seen that. That was yeah, I seen a couple episodes of that shit. That shit was fire.
Yeah, and
It was on HBO, huh?
yeah, it was. Yeah, and it had Matthew McConaughey and shit. It was a great show.
Yeah.
Um, so like, what would you say was the message for like that song and shit like that? Were you trying to go for?
It was really just on some lit shit. Really like just honestly shouting out the part of the city that I'm from, downtown, that east side, all that shit. But it really wasn't no significant meaning for the song, just on some party shit, low key.
Yeah. So you guys from New Orleans, right? Like, what part of New Orleans?
Originally, I'm from Uptown, the 17th, but I was raised on the east side, and I stayed like all over the city. But when I came back from Katrina, we had stayed when people stayed in the east side. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much what I'm raised at.
Yeah, like Katrina switched everything around. Like the east used to be where upper class motherfuckers would stay, like Lil Wayne and Birdman. They had a house in the east over. But they shot a lot of their videos there. But now it's like Section 8 houses and shit. I'm from downtown. I'm from the 8 Wall. But after Katrina, a lot of motherfuckers moved to the east. So the east is scattered up with motherfuckers from different hoods. So that's where a lot of the crime and shit goes right now in the east. It's like the worst part of the city right now.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how that like impacted you or like people around you guys as families and shit. Like that's a lot of people kind of like don't understand that like that aren't from there and shit like that, you know. So like in your in like childhood, like what kind of music were you guys into? Because obviously you guys are from one of the biggest booming music scenes ever in terms of hip hop, a legendary, artists come from there. So like what types of music did you listen to in your childhood?
Shit. Me personally, like I pretty much listen to whatever my pops listen to, local New Orleans music. Like you listen to a lot of shit. Wu Tang, Nas, shit like that, Black Moon. But when Katrina hit, we moved to Olive Branch, Mississippi. That's like 5 minutes from Memphis. So that's
Mm.
when I got on Clear Fly and all this shit and Skinny Pimp and the whole Triple Six, all that old shit. And that's what really started us fucking with the funk music and even being into that type of wave.
And
Yeah.
for me, it was really, sort of similar, pretty much whatever my pops, whatever my people was listening to. I got a couple cousins that used to rap and shit back in the G, so I just came up under them, hearing them do shit. My family also like just with different types of gospel music and people also went real heavy into church and shit. For the storm, I went to Atlanta and got on like a lot of different Atlanta music at the time, like Crime Mob, Camouflage, people like that. Mm, And my pops like a real big Ghetto Boys fan, so I listen to a lot of that. He like a lot of East Coast and West Coast music as well. So, we grew up pretty much listening to all kinds of shit in terms of like hip hop and music in general.
Random Mob's fire as fuck. Like they're good storytellers and stuff. A lot of classic
Mm.
songs. And what about you in the white shirt? What'd you listen to as
Pretty,
a kid?
pretty much be the same thing. my people used to play a lot of Hot Boys around me, so I used to grow up knowing a bunch of them songs. Sure, DMX, you know Wayne for sure.
Yeah.
Shoot, Tupac, of the big ones. As far as me though, with music, I've been listening to music a lot, cause all my life. As far as music, I just started producing. I'd say like 2 years ago. When I met these dudes like back in my childhood, like way back when I was like 12 years old. And they've been rapping since like way back then. I wasn't rapping not like that up that time. Shoot, I did little dabble here and there, when I was about 16, but I didn't get serious about it really until I met them. Like they were big into, all the rappers albums from way back when.
Yeah.
Like people you wouldn't even think about.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have a good like knowledge of like underground music too. That's what I think like a lot of like up and coming music groups kind of like you're tapped in a really good scene. You guys have a lot of knowledge and you guys are very good at like encapsulating certain sounds like they're not dying out, but you know what I mean? Just like certain sounds that aren't like have a lot of shine upon them up until lately, you know what I mean, with the funk and all that shit.
Right.
Um like you kind of speak on like your growing up near Memphis and stuff like that. Like what would you say your guys' sound is in general?
Honestly, just whatever the fuck we like at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like we bounce around from different sounds, but majority of the time we do fuck with the funk music, but do boom bap, some shit that sound like some Nola type shit, bounce music, like whatever you did.
Like might hop on some West Coast sound and shit. Like really, like when you say that, only thing I can really say is we actual fucking MCs. You feel me? Not
Yeah.
to be too cocky or nothing, but it's like the type of shit that we listen to, our whole generation, especially like in the city where we from. So like a lot of motherfuckers really want to fucking with like anime and all that shit. Like we really a part of the generation that you had motherfuckers in the hood really like niggas fucking with anime and shit. Like my people had me when it was like still in high school type shit. So my Paul kind of was fucking with it on the cool, and it's like he showed me cowboy bebop shit like that, and they ain't do nothing but just branch our interests more into like different cultures. Pretty much, like we got a couple songs we sample old Japanese songs and shit. Like
Yeah.
we in anime.
yeah,
We
rapping about anime and smoking
fucking
weed and
Midnight
all this shit.
Pretenders. We sampled that shit on there. So it's like I can really just say we just made hip hop and rap music, and anything that fall under it that got our interest, we tend to dabble in it.
Yeah, you got like a diverse palette in terms of like, you know, style and influence, stuff like that. And I respect that because like you're not trying to stay with the same fucking thing the whole time. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Who here helped on one of the Mad Lib beats? I think I heard that. That was really good. That was a great song.
Well, yeah, we fucking with a lot of shit like that. Like this tape we got called Hippie Talk. This came out a few years ago on SoundCloud. Lately, we've been putting a lot of our old SoundCloud tapes that did good, just re-putting them on YouTube the last couple months, just so them bitches can have a little bit more like spread and shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
SoundCloud kind of one dimensional. Everybody don't have SoundCloud.
Yeah. And like it's like some most like SoundCloud is like the classic place to post music, but nowadays it's like people also need to put stuff on like YouTube and Spotify and stuff because like I think Spotify is now like bigger is like
Yeah,
the like 2016 like to 2018 everybody was on SoundCloud, but now I love SoundCloud's my favorite place to post music, but now everybody listens to Spotify and uses Spotify.
them playlists, man. You can
Everybody's
get
trying to hop on
playlists.
a playlist and shit and get the shit
Yeah,
out.
like
That's the way.
yeah.
That's like the
Skinny Pimp had
marketing
got
way.
us into one. Like yeah, Skinny Pimp put our song War, man, and like it did pretty good on Spotify. He got it playlisted and shit. Like
Shout out to the OG Skinny
yeah,
Pimp.
shout out Skinny, man.
So, like, you've done music with Skinny Pimp, you know what I mean? But like, how did you like link up with him in the first place, and how did he start showing love to your music and stuff like that?
Well, my first tape that dropped on SoundCloud, City of Debt, I did I called it Flame or whatever. And it's you ever heard Demons in My Soul with Lil Jen and Skinny Pimp?
Yeah,
It's like a DJ Paul beat. So basically I just rapped over that beat and shit, sent it to him on Instagram. This is about 2018. I ain't think he was even gonna look at the shit, but he actually liked it and shit. Started fucking with me, and he
Send back the fire emoji.
yeah, man, he jumped on that song. Then there's this place called Circle Bar out here. It went out of business for quarantine, but all the old acts would come perform there, and we would open for 'em. Like we opened up for Lil Jack, we opened up for Tommy Wright, we opened up for Skinny Pimp like multiple times. And yeah, that's how that relationship started. Like we've been to Memphis with him a few times. Like I got like 2 or 3 songs with him. Like that's really the homie.
Oh,
I
shit.
literally just talked to him like a couple of days ago.
yeah.
So
He's
that's
one
how
of
that
the
shit started.
he's one of the legends who's definitely like continued to put out great music, and but also fuck with like newer people too. Like a lot of great producers in the underground scene, and he's definitely like he's a respectable work ethic. Like he didn't just die out and shit. Like a lot of old, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? People just
Him and
stopped
Tommy
making music.
Wright.
So with the yacht too.
Tommy
Oh,
Wright
that's
too.
Yeah. He been going in, man. I saw that shit he did with Kerwin Frost and Adidas. That shit was lit.
Yeah, and I just bought an old like reprint tape. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Here,
that's
let me.
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
actually have an
hard.
original too. Of ashes and ashes, dust to dust.
Ooh, that's fire though. Man,
yeah.
see, like that's some shit right
See, I
there,
forgot
man.
what tape it is. I got an original Scarface tape.
Oh
Fuck.
man,
Scarface, look, G, if you see this shit, fuck with me. Fuck with me. I'm trying to get him to autograph that bitch for my pops. Like,
Scarface is the fucking legend, yo.
bro, like, that's my dad's favorite. It's funny because them niggas kind of look alike on the cool. But yeah, yeah, like that's his favorite rapper. Like, yeah,
Yeah, like his storytelling too, like just the way, just the graphic way it shows stories in the songs. They're like if you don't like it, it'll be disturbing to you. But if you get it, you get it. You know what I mean?
real
Right.
talk.
Man, that motherfucker, like, they the ones who put the South on, man. Jay
Yeah.
Prince, bro. Like,
Yeah,
they started pretty much everything.
yeah. Like they started it, and then after them, like a lot of other acts kind of started getting signed and shit like that. Like it kind of they had to,
Right.
because back then you had to gain respect of East and West Coast in order to do anything. Like that's kind of how it had to go. So like you'd had to gain the respect of like Easy E or whoever's big at the time. You know what I mean? That's kind of how it had to
Right.
go.
Yeah,
And
real
then
talk.
but then they paved the lane among other groups like uh paved the lane for that.
UGK, shit.
UGK.
8 Ball.
Yeah. UGK, man, like they were pretty big, and then they did that song with like Jay Z and shit, and then they did the song with 3 6, and it's like now they're
Shit.
fucking legendary fucking people and shit. And Bun B had a lot of good like features, like in the 2000s and shit like that. Bun B's a legend.
Well, yeah, when Pimp C went to jail, Bun B
Yeah,
took over.
he held it down as he
And
should.
Yeah,
now he got them fucking burgers, man. I seen that shit.
I'm gonna try this.
yeah. So what is Southern Connection Records? What is that? Who's a part of that?
Right now, it's just us. We just started it over quarantine. We got our LLC and shit and pretty much put the shit together. And we just been putting everything out through that shit. Like we won't take the independent route with everything, though, keep it with us. You feel me? If we ever do come across some serious money or something, it's gonna be all in house. You
Oh
feel
yeah,
me? So
that's how to do it.
Right.
Like,
We watch too many motherfuckers get fucked in the game, you know.
Yeah. There's I've interviewed a lot of people over the years. I've been interviewing people since I was like 16 and shit. I'm 19 right now. And I've seen some people get signed and they want to put out a song and it just don't work. Like the label's just like will stop it from happening or they'll delay it and then by the time they delay it the momentum's it's just all fucked, you know what I mean? And I've seen people able to make a living just without having to sign to a label and have it all independent. So it's not like some like fever dream to fucking live
Right.
off of independent art. A lot of people do it. It's just not like it's not an agenda that companies want to be pushed. So you won't hear it's only like a if you know type shit. So you won't hear a story about like an independent artist being able to make like a living and then some. You know what I mean? Because the agenda that's pushed is like, yo, they made this song, and then this person gave them attention, and then they got the contract. You know what I mean? That's the fucking agenda that's been pushed for like
Right.
decades. You know,
Yeah,
basically.
you know they fucking money hungry.
I ain't know that.
Like shit.
Yeah,
Probably roofing too. But yeah, man, like the underground wave been taking over the once a motherfucker scene is possible, you feel
Yeah,
me? With
yeah,
motherfuckers like currency and shit, like, you know, them motherfuckers took that shit to another level.
really show niggas it's possible.
yeah. Like that OG, like I'd say like 2009 wave, like
Right.
till now.
That blog era, man.
Yeah, and the bass era. You know what I mean? Like all the
Like,
just like all the underground music groups that came out back then definitely pushed that
That was
forward.
fire ass times too.
we was just talking about that shit.
Or like 2009 to like 2013 for like music.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just talking to someone about that at work. We were like 2009 to 2013, like Lil Wayne and Drake and shit, or fucking Wiz, classic era.
Right.
yeah.
Bro, we was just talking
Fucking
about that
Lupe
shit.
Fiasco. Fucking
Lupe.
um,
Yeah.
bro, like so many
Man, all
motherfuckers.
kind of motherfuckers. Our Future
You
had a
had
wave. Fucking
East
Raider
Coast,
Clan started and
Raider
shit.
Clan. Fucking yeah, man, that was just a great time.
Yeah.
It was a
Definitely.
great time. It was like what the fuck, like shit, so it's hard. Like that shit. I don't know.
A lot of great music
People
that came
got
out then. So you talked about a lot of performances that you guys have done opening for other people. It's like, what would you say the like a performance of yours, like we'll go for each person, you know what I mean, has been the most memorable, like in terms of just fun and shit like that.
uh, yeah, I think we all can agree on a couple of them pieces. Shit, man, we had one show. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like me and bro, we had a bad trip on some bad shit, and
You don't never do that dumb ass shit,
yo,
bro.
like I swear to us, it was so terrible, but everybody was going crazy. Like we did our thing. I'm like, son, nah, bro. I'm like, cause I told him like, yo, we on acid right now, so y'all be cool, cause y'all looking at the nigga soul right now, and they thought that shit was funny. I'm like, bitch, we really tripping bad right now,
Like a
like.
manic ego trip, fucking
Like really, bro. Like
Bro,
that shit was weird as
it was
fuck. Like
bad, bad.
we never trip acid on stage again.
Nah, that
yeah.
shit. That happened like what? I had to been like fucking. I think it was like what 21, 20, or like 19 or some shit.
Yeah, some shit.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. That was like some OG shit. If you
Now
don't remember that show,
who was that like opening for, and like where was this?
this was at Pool Boys Bar, and it was our homegirl Coco. She had shout out to Coco. She got her thing, Coco Flower Child Productions, and she does different shows and shit. And this was one of the shows that she had threw on, and I think this was like the first or second show we had did for her. And yeah, that shit was cool. Like, all things considered, it was still fun and shit. And we actually just did a show with Coco in Vegas back in October. Like we had went out there and shit. And that was pretty cool. That was our first time on the West Coast. And that's a hell of a story.
Vegas always has a lot of great shows. Like Vegas is always fucking pop. I've never, I've been there on a layover flight, but fucking, you know, I've never been there for a show. I assume it's fucking crazy. You know.
Our dumbasses drove all the way from New Orleans to Vegas. Took us like 2 days, dog.
But we got lost. We ended up in Laredo, Texas.
Yeah, we got lost in Laredo on some dumb shit.
Yeah. Drove through the Grand Canyon. That shit scary as a motherfucker. Like, I'd rather hear fucking gunshots than drive through the Grand Canyon again, dog. That shit fucked my head up, man. Like, you ain't got no guardrail on this side. It's just a drive.
Yeah,
It's black as a motherfucker. And you see big ass. Nah, I'm used to that swamp and that flat shit, man. This shit's
Arizona is
crazy.
very fucking. The driving there is very weird. It's very like you never know where you are. You never know if you're close to your destination or not. But it's just like this
right.
endless place where you're like you always feel lost there.
No, that shit was crazy, dog.
Yeah, man. We were seeing shit like bad territory, mountain lion territory. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
we ain't got that shit in Orleans.
You don't want to go in the you don't want to go in the wrong you don't want to end up in a reservation there because they'll like arrest you if you don't have a permit to be there or some shit like that. Like because it's very since there's just like a lot of land and not a lot of people, they have a lot of like reservations. That's why like on the East Coast there are no fucking reservations because we killed all of the Native Americans.
Right.
That's what the colonizers did. Um and it's like it's kind of fucked, it's kind of sad, but it is what it is. What it is. That's what the American ancestors did. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I'm thankful that's not my fucking. I'm fucking German, so I'm not related to any fucking. Yeah. Anyways, I don't want
That's
to get
another
too. I
joke
don't want to get too
altogether.
political on the show, but every now and then, fucking
Nah, bro.
yeah,
Nah,
yeah. So,
shit, we don't have
City of
German.
Death, 1 and 2, they have like a lot of Call of Duty influence, like in like terms of the art. The second one more so.
Yeah, well,
What's your guys' favorite Call of Duty games? So it was always a great discussion I like to have with people.
Modern Warfare 2, and
Yeah,
it's just throwback, different. A lot of memories. Just, I don't know. It's just, I felt like it couldn't have got more better than that.
yeah.
Everything, attaching the ass cool and shit, but fuck, you could have just kept that bitch updated graphics and add new guns to that. Like, for real.
Like GTA.
Like, yeah, bro, like GTA,
man. See, I was on that a little bit more. I fuck with that Red Dead Redemption. That's my shit, man.
Yeah,
That motherfucker home, nigga. Like for real.
very creative game. Just like the
Facts. It's
possibilities
different, man.
for like stories and
Right.
shit like that. The open world.
All kind of shit. It was a fire ass game, man. Both
Yeah.
of them.
I was scrolling through like fucking TikTok or some shit, and it'll be like, if you do this in Red Dead Redemption thing, it takes you on a whole nother storyline or some shit like that. Like if you just make like one different choice or some shit, and it's like, damn, like I didn't know you could do all this in the game.
Man, they just hit different,
Oh,
dog.
man.
Yeah,
It's like the animals alone on that bitch. They got so many types of animals and shit. Like, that game was like very detailed, well put together.
yeah. So like in terms of like new music or shows coming out soon, like what could you say is gonna be we can expect for new music from you guys and shows?
As far as music, man, we got a lot of music on the way. I got a couple singles and I got project or two that's in the works. That's gonna be on YouTube and SoundCloud. Dropping some mixtape shit. As far as albums, we do have some all platform projects coming out. I don't know if we gonna disclose the name just yet. But I do have a couple singles that's gonna be able to keep everybody good along the way with one of my Glacier. Shout out to Glacier. We did a couple shit and he's actually featured on my single Morning that just came out recently too. So we got a lot of shit with a lot of different artists that we just been working on.
We definitely locked in album. We gonna drop Hippie Talk too. That's gonna be
Nice.
like some boom bap shit, Not fully boom bap, but it's definitely gonna be some chill, get high to this type shit, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
as far as mixtapes, right now we working on some shit called Buried Alive. It's gonna be like a mixtape, so it's gonna be on YouTube and SoundCloud, but it's more like a funk vibe. We've been working on that shit the past couple of days.
Yeah, I like to hear chill shit and shit like that. Like I'm excited for what you guys have coming up. Cause like that shit running game, like that's the type of stuff I like from you guys, you know what I mean?
Like,
The
yeah,
running
we
game
just
shit.
did a video for that motherfucker last year.
Yeah.
That was crazy. That was a really good video. Yeah, like all the cards on the table, stuff like that. It was a good
Yeah,
video.
we shot that motherfucker. Half of it we shot at the crib or whatever, and the other half we shot like on Canal Street and like in the French quarters and garages and shit. We used to skateboard in them and shit, and bomb the garages and shit. So we went to a lot of those in the staircases. We used to take pictures and shit. So that shit was
Yeah.
real lit for us. We just got drunk as fucking high. Just was chilling, you feel me?
Yeah. Now, Jen, what do you have coming up in terms of music?
Is it? Huh?
Is it?
Oh, I thought he said Joe.
Nah.
Shit. Shoot. I've been making some beats, man. I've been working on some stuff, real experimental, and really, I've been planning on like just hopping on like any of the beats I make. Should
Like
probably make like a little EP out of it, Still
self-produced
don't
and
like
shit.
have names on anything. Yeah,
Nice. Well, send that
yeah.
all my way when it comes out, yo. I'll definitely be checking that out. And thanks for coming on the show, guys. Really had a good time talking to you guys about music, just shit like that. Had a chill time. Thanks for coming on the show, guys.
Appreciate it,
No
man.
problem, right?
Yeah, links in the description to SB Mom's Music, SB Quisey, SB Nate, SB Jen. And be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe to Pollute Your Soul. Peace the fuck out.